Hello and welcome to Dishing Delights. Today I'm going to share with you 3 meals that I made with ingredients that I had in my fridge and pantry. For this first recipe, I'm making mushroom venison cheesesteaks with some morels that my husband and I foraged for this year. For these morels, I soak them for a couple hours and make sure that all the bugs get out of them. And then I cut them according to whatever I'm going to cook. Today I'm going to take some of the smaller ones and I'm going to cut them in half. That way they're the perfect size for my sandwiches. Right here I'm adding some butter to my cast iron skillet. And then I'm going to fry up about 6 ounces of mushrooms. Once those mushrooms are cooked through, I'm going to take those out of the pan and add in my ground venison. As this venison cooks, I'm going to take the best little kitchen tool in the world and mash up my meat. And then I'm also going to add some Chicago steak seasoning. I'll also throw in a little garlic powder and onion powder to this. Once it's fully cooked, I'm going to drain this and set it aside. And once that's set aside, I'm going to add a handful of peppers. At this point, I realized my husband ate most of the mushrooms, so I cut some more up, added a little bit of butter, and then I cooked those as I sat my buns in my air fryer basket. As you can see, these are now cooked to perfection. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I'm going to set these aside. Right here, I'm going to add my ground beef to the pan with 4 ounces of Velveeta, and then I'm going to toss it until it's coated. Now that the meat and cheese is combined, I'm going to serve it up into the buns. Now that I have the meat and cheese in the buns, I'm going to add a little bit of cheese on top, and then I'm going to put it in the air fryer on 350 degrees for 2 to 3 minutes. When it comes out of the air fryer, the buns will be just a little bit crispy. I love these. These turned out so good. Now I took these country style ribs and I marinated them in some open pit for about 8 hours. Once those were marinated, I added a cup of water into my Instant Pot, and then I added my country ribs on top of the trivet. Once in the Instant Pot, I cooked this at high pressure for 15 minutes, and then I let it natural release for 10 minutes. While those were cooking, I shredded up some white cheddar cheese, and then I set that aside for the tater tot nachos. I am now taking my tater tot rounds, and then I'm going to add them into the air fryer at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to shake them halfway through as well. This is a good time to get around the ingredients you want for your tater tot nachos. I chose some parsley and some jalapenos. And now that the ribs are fully cooked through, I am going to set them aside, and once they're cool, I am going to pull them apart. As you can see, these are pretty fatty. That's why I wanted to use them up in this meal, because this is not my favorite cut of meat, but it has been sitting in my freezer and I want it out of there. Right here I have some mango habanero Buffalo Wild Wings sauce. I added a couple teaspoons of this to my meat and then mixed it up. And then here I'm serving up my tater tot nachos. Once I added my toppings, I did end up tossing this under the broiler for about a minute. Once I did that, the cheese was melted to perfection, but of course I added a little bit more. Once the toppings were on, I added a little sour cream, and that is what's for dinner tonight. Now this is one of my favorite ways to cook, to just take everything that needs to be used up in my refrigerator and pantry and throw it all together. Today I have some alfredo sauce, 2 cans of mushrooms, 2 peppers, a crown of broccoli, smoked sausage, and a box of pasta. As you can see here, I am cutting up my veggies in uniform bite-sized pieces, and then I'm going to set them aside. Now that all of my vegetables are cut up, I'm going to add my cut up smoked sausage, my vegetables, and then I'm going to add my alfredo sauce into the crock pot. I'm also going to add about a half a cup of water into the alfredo jar, shake it up, and then add it to the crock pot. But don't forget to make a mess. Now I'm going to add some seasonings to this. Today I chose garlic powder, onion powder, and salt and pepper. I'm going to combine this thoroughly, and then I'm going to set my crock pot on low for 4 to 6 hours, or until cooked through. I'm always skeptical when I throw together stuff like this, but this turned out so good. Right here I'm going to add half a box of pasta, and then I'm going to let it cook for another half hour. I'm gonna stir this every like 10 minutes though. Now, as you can see, that pasta soaked up all that delicious Alfredo sauce. So I'm gonna add some more cheese. As you can see, this turned out absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe for more videos like these.